You've been feeling something lately, and I don't think you've told anyone, because it sounds insane to say out loud after all these years. A quiet sense that it's close. That something is about to shift. You can't point to anything on the calendar. There's no date, no man, no reason, and that's exactly why you keep talking yourself out of it. You tell yourself, stop it. You felt this before. You've hoped and been wrong, and it hurt, and you're not doing that to yourself again, so you smother it. You call it wishful thinking, and you put it away. Hear me tonight, beloved. That feeling has a name, and it is not wishful thinking. You are not fooling yourself again. After all these years of being wrong, of hoping and bracing and hoping again, I need you to hear this. The sense you've been carrying, that something has finally shifted, that the long thing is breaking, you are right. You are not imagining it, and tonight I'm going to show you why. You know how, before the rain comes, the air changes? The pressure drops. The smell of the earth rises. The birds go still. You can't see a single drop yet, but your body already knows. Something in you reads the sky before the sky shows anything. That's not imagination. That's the eve, the hours before the thing arrives, when everything in the air says soon, and nothing visible confirms it yet. You've been feeling the air change. And I want to show you the 5 shapes that feeling takes. Because by the end of this, you're not going to wonder anymore. You're not going to talk yourself out of it. You waited so long, beloved, and I have to tell you something that's going to be hard to believe after all this time. You are not in the middle of this anymore. You are standing at the very edge of it. The weight you've been living inside is not stretching out in front of you forever. You're near the end of it. The first cloud is already in the sky. Let me show you a man who heard the rain before there was a cloud in the sky. There had been no rain for 3.5 years. The ground was cracked dust. The wells were low. And Elijah climbs a mountain, bows down, puts his face between his knees, and says something that, by every visible measure, was insane. There is a sound of abundant rain. 1 Kings 18:41. A sound of rain. The sky was empty, cloudless, bone dry, and Elijah said, I hear it coming. Then he sends his servant to look toward the sea. Picture the servant climbing the ridge, shading his eyes, scanning the flat line of the horizon. Nothing. He trudges back down. Elijah says, go again. The servant climbs, scans, nothing. Back down, again, nothing. A third time, nothing. Fourth, fifth, sixth time, the servant stands on that ridge and looks out at an empty, merciless sky and has to walk back down and say, there is nothing there. If you had been that servant, by the third empty look, you'd have decided the old man was hearing things. By the 6th, you would have stopped believing rain was possible at all. And then the 7th time, a cloud as small as a man's hand, rising from the sea. That's all. Not a storm front, not a darkened sky. A cloud you could cover with your palm held at arm's length. Almost nothing. And Elijah doesn't say, let's wait and see. He declares, the downpour is coming, and the sky goes black, and the heavens open, and the rain comes down in sheets. 1 Kings 18:40, 4:5. The eve doesn't announce itself with a darkened sky. It announces itself with a sound only the waiting can hear, and a sign small enough to miss. Elijah's whole gift wasn't the rain. Anyone gets wet when it pours. His gift was hearing it when the sky was still empty, and that hearing has been growing in you. Here are the 5 shapes it takes. The first sign is that you've stopped being numb. For a long time, when someone asked about relationships, something in you went flat. Not sad exactly, just blank. You'd made peace with the distance because distance didn't hurt the way hoping hurt. And then lately, without deciding to, the flatness broke. A sharp, "I can't stay in this holding pattern anymore," showed up out of nowhere, one ordinary afternoon. You thought something was wrong with you. Something is right with you. Restlessness is not impatience. It is the soul waking up to a season that is ending. Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, "He makes everything beautiful in its time, not in your time, in His." But the restlessness you feel is your spirit registering that His time is drawing near. You don't manufacture that. God sends it. And when it arrives, the right response is not to smother it. It's to pay attention. The second sign is that you've started praying differently. Not longer, necessarily. Different. The prayers that used to feel like they were going into a wall have started feeling like conversation. You've found yourself saying things you'd never said before, specific things, honest things, things that surprised you on the way out of your mouth. Song of Songs 2:11, 1:3 says, "The winter is past, the rain is over and gone, the flowers appear on the earth, the time of singing has come." Read that slowly. The winter is past. Not ending past. Already behind you. The flowers are appearing. Present tense. Happening now, while you read this. There is a kind of prayer that belongs to winter. Careful, guarded, not asking for too much, because disappointment costs too much. And there is a kind of prayer that belongs to spring open, unguarded, no longer protecting itself from the sky. If your prayers have moved from winter to spring without you deciding to move them, pay attention. That is not you. That is the Spirit in you, reading the season before your mind catches up. The third sign is that old wounds have been losing their grip. Something that used to knock you flat for days, a wedding announcement, a couple's photo, a comment from someone who didn't know better, has started landing differently. Not that it doesn't sting, it's that the sting doesn't take you under anymore. You feel it, and you keep going. This is not emotional progress you manufactured in a journal. This is what God does when He is preparing the soil for something He is about to plant. He removes the stones first. He clears the hardened places before the seed goes in. He doesn't hand you a healed heart and then make you wait another decade for the reason. The healing and the coming are often closer together than we think. Jesus said in Luke 21:30 that when the trees sprout, you know summer is near. Healing is a tree sprouting. If you've been noticing that the old wounds are quieter, that is not you getting used to the weight. That is God clearing ground. The fourth sign, and this is the one I want you to sit with, because this is the one that's going to undo you, is that you've caught your own hands preparing. Not because you decided to. Your hands just started. You cleared a drawer. You rearranged a space. You found yourself buying something, keeping something, getting some corner of your life in order, and you couldn't say why. You stopped halfway through, and your breath caught, and you thought, what am I doing? No one is coming. There's no one. But your hands kept moving.